I wish I knew this before I started on my transformation journey. This is absolutely massive, and if you can implement this, it's going to be a real game changer for you with fat loss, weight loss, and transforming your body, because as you get older, it's much harder. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal, and this channel is all about helping you, if you're a woman over 40 or like me, over 50, get in fantastic shape. And the biggest game changer, and this is never talked about, and that is changing your mindset. That's what I discovered when I went through my own body transformation journey, is I actually needed to change what's up here and in here first, and everything else follows on from that. And if you're not doing that, the chances are you're not going to succeed. You can have the right exercise plan in place, the right nutrition plan in place, unless you've got your mind right and you've got a great attitude, you're not going to progress. And particularly when you're over 40, because what you need to do is make a long-term commitment and actually be consistent over time. So I've been consistent over the last 6 years, and I haven't deviated from that very much. Yes, I have the odd treat now and then, but that's about it. And I'm consistently working out, and I'm consistently following the right nutrition plan, and I intend to do that for the rest of my life. So believe me when I tell you, you've got to have it up here to be able to make any kind of progress. And watch right until the end, because I am going to give you my 5 tips on improving your mindset, and it will really put things into perspective when I talk about my own experience. So the first thing I'm going to say is I didn't really love myself, and loving yourself is really important. So before I started this journey, and if you've watched my content before, you probably see my pictures before I transformed my body, and I would say to you, not only did I not look as great, but I actually didn't feel great inside, and so I didn't really love myself. Loving yourself isn't a bad thing. Loving yourself is a good thing. It doesn't mean that you can't have love for other people just because you love yourself. And there's a difference between loving yourself and being something like big-headed or conceited or expecting everything. It's not about that. It's being comfortable with your body, comfortable in your own skin. I was in a bad marriage and I had a bad breakdown, and I just didn't really feel good about myself. And when I actually started working on myself, feeling good about myself, that's when I saw an improvement in my mindset. So I'm going to talk about that later on, the tips on how to do that. Secondly, I want to just say the mindset of where you are now has got you to where you are now. So if you're not happy with your success, your body shape, how you are now, that is partly or mostly due to the actual mindset that you have. Because if you think about it, your current mindset has got you to where you are now. And if you're not happy, either you're not happy about where you are now, or you don't think you're going to achieve success with your health, your body, then you're going to need to change your mindset in order to address that, because you want to go into the future with a different mindset. And I can tell you, when I changed my mindset from that person who had low confidence, I didn't feel good about myself, when I actually improved that, that's when I started to see success. So your mind is connected to your body, isn't it? The two things work hand in hand together. So you've got to take that on board, as if you want to see a change, you've got to change up here and in here first. And of course, what goes with that is having a solid belief in yourself. Having belief in yourself, self-belief, was so important. And I didn't have any self-belief, I think, when it came to body transformation, right the way through my life. I always thought that's something that happens to other women. That doesn't happen to me. I can't look like that. And of course, it was a self self-fulfilling prophecy. But when I started to have belief in myself and visualize where I wanted to be, which for me was standing on the stage, getting on stage in a sparkly bikini, that's when I saw the transformation. Having belief in yourself is absolutely key to all of this, because if you don't believe in yourself, of course you're not going to achieve it. And self-belief, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to have confidence, but self-belief is really important. And I got to the point where I actually saw it, I visualized it, and I saw myself achieving it. I went on to achieve it. One of the things that's really, really hard is having the discipline and consistency. In my younger days, you know, I could have the odd glass of wine or have a cheat meal at the weekend and everything would still come together in terms of being in shape and getting in shape. But as I got older, I realized those kind of small misdemeanors, like having a few glasses of wine in the week, a few glasses of wine at the weekend, that's not gonna work. And what's required is a lot more discipline, specifically around food. And when I started to change that, that's when I saw a significant improvement. So that doesn't mean going on really low calories, and I've made lots of videos about nutrition. It's not what it means, but it does mean discipline around food, discipline around working out. And you've got to have a certain mindset. You know, over the last 6 years, I've been consistently working out and consistently sticking to the kinds of foods that are going to help me reach my goal. And before that, I wasn't really doing that. I realised that's got to change. When you look at women who look fantastic in their 50s, for example, it's no accident. You look at the celebrities, and I've made videos on Halle Berry and J-Lo. People will say, oh, well, they've got lots of resources, but also they do actually have discipline. You've got to have discipline to look like that. Your expectation might not be as high as that. You might not be wanting to get on stage. You might not want to look like a superstar, but certainly if you're going to improve the way that you look now and you are over 40, you're going to need some discipline around it, like I did. In my younger days, I just didn't have the discipline, didn't have the willpower to continue on and do this over a really long period of time, which is so important. You're going to have to learn to deal with failure. And I had 2.5 years of failure, which I've documented on this YouTube channel. I've made a whole video about that. It's one of my most watched videos, and I will link it here if you haven't seen it yet. And there are other, so say, failures, which I don't think are necessarily failures. There's times when you're going to fall off the wagon. So you're not going to eat how you intended to eat, and you're going to reach for something that doesn't necessarily help you reach your goal. That in actual fact is not failure, because that's going to happen to everyone. I do that. I do something where I kind of fall off the wagon and eat something, you know, really high sugar, high salt, high fat, that kind of thing that I didn't intend to eat. So you're going to need the sort of mindset where you can just put it behind you and move on, because you can't be absolutely perfect all the time. Yes, you need to be disciplined 80 to 90% of the time, but you're going to face failure in some sort of way. You're going to have times when you haven't got into the shape that you want to be. I've had times like that where it's like it hasn't quite worked for me. You're going to have times when maybe you can't do workouts. I had a time of extreme fatigue where I couldn't do workouts. Not everything is going to run absolutely perfectly, so you've got to have the mindset where you deal with that. You might have injuries, you might get sick as well, so you've got to move on from it, and you've just got to make the best of what you got and then put it behind you, and that takes a certain type of mindset. Not a lot of people talked to me about this when I was going on my journey. Not a lot of people in the fitness, in the weight loss industry do talk about how you need to change your thinking when you're starting a new weight loss or transformation journey. And I do this kind of work with women that I work with on my VIP coaching program, the women that I work with one-to-one one-to-one. It's something that I do talk about a lot. I teach a lot. I work with women to improve their mindset. So that's with my one-to-one coaching. I also talk a lot about this on my Strong Women Club, which is a group coaching program. And I will link information about both those programs in the description. You can go to my website and find out how to work with me as your coach or join my Strong Women Club. I promised at the start that I was going to give you my 5 tips to improving your mindset. And tip number 1 is prioritizing you. Before I went on this journey and whilst I was married, I used to prioritize everyone in my life apart from myself, my children, my partner, the chores that needed doing around the house, all that kind of thing. And I find when I talk to women, they're doing the exact same thing. But would you believe it? If you prioritize yourself, it's actually going to benefit everybody around you. And it is about loving yourself as well. If you love yourself, you're going to prioritize your health, because apart from your family and your loved ones and having to work to earn a living, it should be your number 1 priority. It's up there with those priorities. And your health is so important, because without your health, you don't have a good life, do you? So health is wealth, isn't it? So we should never feel guilty about prioritizing yourself. Since I've been prioritizing myself, my life has been so much better. I've actually met a new partner. I have a new life for myself with this YouTube channel and helping out women losing weight over 40. And just because I've prioritized myself, it doesn't mean that life has got worse. Life has actually got better. It's so important to do that. So that's something that you need to work on if you're not doing at the moment. My number 2 tip is taking responsibility for your actions. Are you doing this? You've got to be really honest with yourself. I experienced this with myself. So I blame kind of being too busy, being a mother. I get distracted, so I wouldn't remain consistent. But often we're using blame as a crutch for things that we just haven't done. And it's not necessarily about time, the pandemic, and obviously that did change things, but a lot of people actually lost weight and got in really good shape during the pandemic. It's really important to take responsibility for all your actions and be honest with yourself. If you really want it, you can fit in exercise. I fitted in exercise when I was actually working full time with 2 young children at home, and I was actually doing this YouTube channel and my business as a side hustle, and I still managed to fit in getting ready for competing in bodybuilding shows. So if you really want it, you can do it. My 3rd tip is to focus on the process. This is really important, because I know it can be really tempting, you know, and you do need to keep a record of your progress, but thinking like, wow, I haven't lost a pound this week, what's going on? Or I haven't seen my waist measurement go down. Yes, track your progress, but it's really important to make sure you've got those processes in place and you've actually nailed those. So what do I mean by processes? Well, that's what are you doing for nutrition? How are you eating? Are you doing your meal prep? Are you weighing and measuring your food? Do you know exactly what you're eating? How often are you working out? Do you calendar it in? Are you making progress with your strength training? So that's increasing the weight or making progress by getting stronger. Those are the processes, and once you've got the processes in place and you're delivering on those consistently, I can guarantee you that you're gonna see results. My number 4 tip is let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. This was so central to my improving my body shape. It's letting go of the people that don't serve you anymore. That can be actually quite painful. You might need to lose some existing friends. So I had to lose people that might make me be around alcohol a bit more because I was giving up alcohol. You might need to let go of feelings, let go of those feelings that had bitter feelings that were due to my divorce and marriage breakdown. I had to let go of those because to move forward, you've got to let go of those negative thoughts and negative feelings and let go of situations that do not serve you anymore. One of the things was I was doing some voluntary work as a school governor, and I realised I was sort of fitting too much into my life, which I just couldn't cope with anymore. I did actually go on to do more volunteering, but that was with working with homeless people. So you do need to let go. If you've got too much on your plate, let go of some of those responsibilities if there is somebody that you can kind of delegate to, or maybe it's just something you got to stop doing altogether. My number 5 tip, I really want you to take this away from this video. It's so important, and that is self-belief. You've got to start visualizing. I like to talk about see it, believe it, achieve it. That's how it works. So in order to achieve that body shape that you want, you've got to start visualizing. So stand in front of the mirror or spend some time in the morning before you get up or when you go to bed at night, visualizing what life is going to be like when you're in this new body. Maybe it's because you want to be able to go away, go traveling and actually feel good about yourself on the beach. Visualize yourself lying on the beach in your swimwear and feeling, looking good, getting compliments. That's how I want you to visualize it. It's almost like you can smell it and taste it. It's so close. If you visualize it that much, that's really going to help you get the success you want. So it's see it, believe it. You've absolutely got to believe that you can achieve this or you will achieve it. I absolutely believed that I was going to get in fantastic shape one way or another, even though I was failing. I was going to get up on stage in that sparkling bikini. I was going to have some photographs that would be similar to the fitness models that I saw in the magazines. I was going to get those photos taken. And guess what? I achieved it. I hope you found that video helpful. I really would love to get your feedback on this because I know when I post any content on mindset, it doesn't really get views, it doesn't get high engagement because people tend to switch off from it because maybe it's not what you want to hear. You want some kind of magic pill, shortcut to success, and there really isn't one. It's all about putting in the hard work, but working on your mind is what's going to change your body.